to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Hello and welcome, family, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. How you doing? How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are moving into living your best life, family. And remember, you start to live your best life here, and you'll actually surprise yourself. I think I'm living my best life right now. Just came back from the beach, just, living the dream. But it's just like, okay, if this was what I thought my best life would look like, what next, What next? If you can achieve that at a young age, what next? But those are stories for other days. Special shout out to our Patreon family. Thank you so much for enabling us to continue to bring the awakening news to our people, and just, all the encouragement you guys give me. Thanks to everyone that is subscribed to the channels. We appreciate, love you so much. And I've been getting a couple of calls from my continental friends about what's been going on. Sorry, guys, this isn't even funny. This isn't even funny with Museveni's son, and he's been talking kind of crazy. It started yesterday where he talked about how it wouldn't take, let me just even paraphrase. He said, it wouldn't take us, my army and me, 2 weeks to capture Nairobi. And then, he goes on to talk about how we need to remove all the borders and have one country in East Africa. And Kenyans were like, what the hell? Because he was like, I think he was head of the land forces anyway. So he was talking crazy. Then he talked about how the former President Uhuru Kenyatta was his boy. And if they'd been, and if Uhuru had listened to him, he would have gone for the third term. Then he also said something disturbing about how Kenyans believe in independence, which is almost like a joke. The real thing is, of course, the revolution. But Kenyans were not happy. And then he joked about, when I conquer Nairobi, where should I live? And he mentioned some of the cool neighborhoods, Riverside, I don't know what. Yo, then today, 24 hours later, I don't know when you're going to watch this, but literally 24 hours later, after going on this rant, he is announced as a general. His father just appointed him the general. And you know what, family? Listen to this. Lieutenant General Muhoozi Kainerugobaga, whatever, has been promoted to general and dropped as commander of land forces. And he has been replaced by Kayanja Muhanga, who has been promoted to the rank of blah, blah, blah. Dude. What's going on? And we can't be joking about coups right now. You guys saw what happened in Burkina Faso, where they literally burnt down the French embassy. I'll definitely do an extra show on that, why that happened. I'll do a separate show on that. Coup is not a word that you just, mention willy-nilly, but what is the agenda? Why was he speaking so recklessly? And guys, he didn't even apologize, man. So he just he said that, later on, I think a couple of hours later, he said, I would never beat up the Kenyan army because my father told me never to attempt it. So our people in Kenya should relax. But, Kenyans are not relaxing. This has made us extremely uneasy because if we remember, barely, 46 years ago, Idi Amin actually tried to take, some of Kenya's land. But what is this about? What are these people distracting us for? We know that Uganda is China, literally. And we know that the US is now looking like it's starting to control Kenya, because Kenya just passed a very controversial GMO bill where the president, 10 years ago, he was against GMO, fought rigorously against it. And then now, within 3 days of him, a week of him becoming president, however long, he's now made GMO legal in Kenya, although to be honest, it's already been legal in Kenya. I'll do a separate show on that's a whole other story as well. But family, what's going on? And were his tweets what caused him to be dropped as the Lands Force, commander? But was it really, I don't know, you guys who know this army jargon and stuff and titles, isn't it like, wasn't he actually promoted to like a general? Isn't that more disturbing? And this is a guy who's saying he's going to be taking over Kenya. But I'm just wondering, like, what is this all about? That's kind of where my mind is at. Because a lot of people are saying he represents, you know, he's the son of Museveni. So obviously he must be in the know of what's going on. Others are saying, you know, Uhuru Kenyatta, before he left, he talked about how Kenya was going to face the worst 3 months of our lives. And there was a whole scorched earth policy that he was trying to put in the different ministries, kind of telling, trying to sabotage the government as much as possible. There was no money and all these things. And then, you know, this guy, Museveni's son, people are calling him a daddy's boy. He even talked about how he posted a picture of him and Uhuru catching a couple of drinks. And he was like, yeah, we even discussed, he's such a good guy. He handed over, I don't know what. You can see the tweet here. And guys, this got so crazy that I think the Ugandans even had to release a statement. The incoming Minister of Foreign Affairs met with the Ugandan embassy, and he tweeted that after a very interesting discussion, all is well. But Kenyans are like, no, this is a guy on a public platform. Like, why is he talking so crazy? And he's a general of an army. Like, why is he threatening Kenya? Why is he saying he's going to invade Kenya? Like, what the hell, man? So Kenyans, we're not taking this lightly. Guys are suggesting that the army, Kenya, our army is kind of crazy, but I mean, it's good. It's a hardcore, I'm not going to get too much in the army into the army story because they've done let me not even get into that, but we have a strong army. Let me leave it at that. So this guy who's the incoming foreign affairs minister, he said, this morning I shared a social cup of tea with Ambassador Dr. Hassan Galiwango, Uganda's High Commissioner to Kenya. We discussed interesting matters. Mambo iko sawa, which basically means everything is all right. And then a couple of hours later, the ministry, the Republic of Uganda's Ministry of Foreign Affairs released a statement. But they didn't even apologize for what Museveni's son was saying. Listen to what they said. They said, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Uganda has noted the debate on social media in respect to the relationship between Uganda and our brotherly neighbor, the Republic of Kenya. The ministry wishes to emphasize that Uganda treasures the existing strong bilateral relations between the people of the government of the Republic of Kenya, blah, 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 based on our history, values, mutual respect, trust, and the desire to build a unified East Africa, blah, blah, blah. And then they say, the Ugandan government, I'm just paraphrasing at this point. We can't read the whole thing, man. You know how these guys use big words for nothing. He says, Republic of Uganda wishes to reiterate its commitment to good neighborliness, peaceful coexistence, and cooperation. They had to release this because Kenyans on Twitter, if you're not on the motherland, you won't know about us. But Kenyans on Twitter are wild. They're hardcore. And in fact, my brother from Tanzania called me and said, hey, but Kenyans, you guys have an online army that's strong. So, and even this guy Muhoozi, I think he also had to release a statement where he said that he had spoken to his father earlier that morning or something like that, and the father, everyone's congratulating. I'm going down his Twitter feed, and everyone's just congratulating him on becoming general. Like, this seems so crazy, man. So earlier he said something like he spoke to his father, and his father told him that, his tweets had made Kenyans very uneasy, and so he was backing down. He wanted Kenya to know there was no fear, there was no threat. East Africa is more important, one East African country, blah, blah, blah. And then a couple of hours later, he's named a general. Guys, I hope Uganda isn't thinking anything. And you know what? I don't even want to put this out in the air, but I've told you, Kenya is biblical Eden. It's where a lot of the Bible stories happen. This is also the land where they say Armageddon is going to go down. So I just hope that our government will respond with the seriousness that this requires. And there's someone who I follow, He said, you know, under customary international law, the declaration by Uganda's top army general and the son of Museveni is a declaration of war on Kenya. So what do you guys think? Do you think they should take this seriously? I mean, this is some kind of geopolitics. Someone was even saying, I don't know, he's using, I don't know, number 9 of the 46 laws of power or something, or that law which says, you know, get attention by any means necessary. Like, was he doing this to honor his father? Because Museveni has talked a lot about how when he dies, his son will avenge all the enemies that he hasn't been able to avenge. And I don't know. For me, I didn't take this lightly. And I'm hoping our government won't take it lightly. Because sometimes these are bigger geopolitical issues. Or and you know, the other thing is, are they trying to distract us from something? That's a very valid question. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. What did you make of this? And from our Ugandan brothers and sisters, what's up? I saw all the opposition from Bobby Wine talking about how, you know, this is what they have to deal with in Uganda. He's like, dear Kenyans, man, this is literally the quote-unquote hell on earth we're dealing with. I'm just paraphrasing. Besije, who is another opposition leader who, you know, Museveni has tortured and beaten and done all kinds of things to. He also came out and said, you know, Kenya, don't take this lightly, especially, you know, because this guy is a general, they may be planning something for Kenya. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Until next time, tuko pamoja.